What's up, guys? This is Shane from Westerlund, and got my good buddy Drew Nichols in the studio today. And we're going to do some really cool stuff. We've got the famous Klon. We got a real Klon here on the board. We've got the Westerlund ONE, which you've been using now for a couple months.
Yes.
Which I'm really excited to see how you're using this pedal. But before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about your history and how you got started playing guitar and all that fun stuff?
Oh, man. Shane, I've been playing guitar a long time.
Long time.
Yeah. It's a funny story, actually. I started playing guitar when I was 11 years old, and this is quite interesting. I met your stepdad
That's
when
crazy.
I was 11 years old. Yeah,
Wow.
He used to hang out with my mom while I was getting lessons, and she'd smoke cigarettes, and they'd chat.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
That's wild. Crazy.
Yeah. So, I started when I was 11, and I've been playing, I joined a band called PC Quest when we were 16 years old, and we actually got signed to RCA Records.
Awesome.
So it was pretty wild and a great experience, but that whole child star thing was pretty
cool.
crazy.
Wow.
Lived out in LA for a while. Joined the Graham Colton Band. We were also signed with Universal Records back in 2000.
Very cool.
And we got to tour with a ton of great bands. We got to tour with like John Mayer,
Wow.
Counting Crows, The Wallflowers,
Wow.
Dave Matthews. It was a great time.
That was a good time for music. Yeah, absolutely.
Back then, yeah, around like 2000 to 2004.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're so glad to have you today. I love your playing. You've played with us in the Imaginaries, and it's always a treat to get to hear you play.
I love playing. I hope I get to do it again.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully soon. We'll do some dates. But let's get back to the Westerlund ONE. So you got one for Christmas, I hear.
I did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. My girlfriend knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And she got a hold of Jim, and I got a Westerlund ONE pedal, man. I was super excited. I was like, that's all I want.
That's awesome.
That's it, yeah.
Well, let's just hear a little bit of how you're kind of using it, like
Okay.
maybe a favorite setting that you've found since you've been messing with it.
Here back home, I'm playing in a bunch of different bands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of cover bands and things like that. So I need a lot of different sounds.
Right.
So a lot of times, here's the tone that we've got.
We're running through a Vibrolux, the 67 Vibrolux. We're going through the aux box and then the 2-rock single tin cab, which is mic'd with a 57. So yeah, we got
God, he's got the gear.
we got the gear.
Yeah.
You got the chops, I got the gear.
That's right.
That's a great, that's a just
Let's
nice,
make lots of money.
I know, right? That's on the verge of breakup. Sounds really good.
I love it.
So no pedals, cool.
So I've got it set right now where it's more of a, I could do like, just stuff on, I could do just like the, Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's awesome.
And that's really all I would need.
Yeah,
to be honest
that's-
with you, because
that's
I could roll that off.
Sure, and clean right up.
Clean it right. Yeah.
That sounds so great. And so for people watching, we're on the soft and germanium mode, but I think I may have turned that up earlier. Do you have a preference on the clipping diode?
Not really.
Yeah.
It just depends on what amp and what band I'm playing with.
Yeah.
Like I'll do if I'm playing in a rock band,
Yeah.
I'll do the hard clipping.
Sure,
I think.
absolutely. So it leans a little bit more
Yeah.
towards the Marshally thing.
Absolutely. And the great thing about this pedal is that I think it reacts with different amps, and I can get the sound I want.
I love that.
I play through a divided by 13, and I use that with the Westerlund ONE. I also have a 64 Princeton.
Yeah.
And it sounds great with that.
Awesome.
5E3
Yeah.
I play with. I mean, I can't get a bad sound.
Great. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, that's one of the things that when Jim was designing the pedal and we had sort of set out to go on this quest of making an overdrive that was sort of my desert island pedal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We wanted it to be everything that a tube screamer isn't. You know what I mean? We wanted it to give you more of what your natural amp sounds
I
like.
wanted more of what a tube screamer was not.
Yeah. So that's cool, but we've got an original Klon down here.
Yeah,
Which
man.
this is going to be actually really fun. I mean, I actually had a chance 2 years ago to buy a Klon, and I
Yeah?
should have done it,
Yeah,
I
did you have to mortgage your house for it?
Well,
or
no,
what? I mean,
actually, it was for $800, and
$800
to me, I've never paid $800 for any guitar. I paid $800 for a guitar, but I've never paid $800 for any pedal.
I thought back in 2000 when I bought that pedal,
Yeah.
$300 was a lot.
That was a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like at the very beginning of the like full tone and like this sort of vintage
Boutique
pedal,
pedals, yeah.
craze.
Yeah.
And yeah, $300 for a pedal is a lot of money.
I was like, man, this better change my life.
Yeah. So how did you come to find out about it?
Well,
I'm curious.
When I was living in Dallas, I was playing with the Graham Colton band,
Yeah.
and we were playing with a bunch of bands. God, there were some guys that were playing this pedal, and I was like, man, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
You know, it's gold, it's big, it looks really cool.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
It's got like a weird animal thing on it,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, God, what is that? And, you know, they told me what it was, so I called Bill Finnegan, and you basically had to beg for one.
Wow.
He was like, well, what kind of amp do you have and all this, and it's really, you know, supposed to be made for a twin on steroids.
Sure, sure.
I said, hey, man. I said, you know, I play a Dr. Z Route 66. He goes, okay, I'll sell you one.
Cool. So back then, you couldn't just go into a music store and buy one. It was like
No.
direct order straight
No,
from
you
him.
had to call him.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know how I talked him into it.
Wow. Well, this is really cool because I don't think we've obviously never had a side-by-side comparison.
No.
And for everybody watching this video, the circuit for the Westerlund ONE is nothing like the Klon, but they kind of react in a similar style, I think.
I think so.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so this will be really fun. So what we're going to do is give us a little of the one, and let's kind of go back and forth and see how close we
Okay.
can make it sound.
Okay.
I'm curious.
All right, so should I do the hard clipping?
Yeah, why not?
Setting it and see what it sounds like?
Yeah.
With the, what's the GE?
That'll be the germanium diode. So
Yeah,
that'll
let's go
probably
germanium.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's what that sounds like. Well, that sounds pretty great.
That sounds amazing.
I'm sure everybody just wants to hear bar chords. I would use that all night long.
Love it. Love
Absolutely.
it. Sounds really great.
Okay.
So I'm curious. Here we go.
I'm used to the Westerlund ONE now.
Are you really?
It's really weird, yeah.
Yeah. When you go to the Klon has a woofier, it's sort of like a bigger bottom end.
Yeah.
It's like a little rounder sounding.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have quite as much presence. I think or I don't know how to explain it.
No,
but
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I guess it's just presence. It's like that clarity. A little bit of clarity is
I
lost.
just, you know, honestly, I think with the Westerlund ONE pedal, I can get more sounds out of it.
Cool.
Live.
Well, it has more knobs and more tonal options, that's for sure. We got
Yeah,
3
we
knobs
like
here.
knobs.
I know, right?
Yeah, knobs
It's
are
so
great.
funny because our good friend Kelvin Holly, who's a session player in Muscle Shoals, that was like the first thing that kind of overwhelmed him with the one.
Really?
Is the layout, but honestly, it's pretty freaking basic. You know, once you figure out that all of the tone shaping stuff on there is just doing very, very subtle things.
I think I messed with it for 5 minutes, and I was like, I found the sound.
Great. Yeah.
So that's what I
Absolutely.
loved about it. But you know, I mean, the Klon sounds great. I just don't want to take it out.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. I don't
you
blame
know.
you. You get a drunk guy spilling a beer on that, and you lost $7
Yeah.
grand.
in fact, my girlfriend wants me to like, you know, frame it or something, put it in a box and,
Sure.
and keep it forever. She's
Well, you
like,
never know.
You can never sell the Klon. I'm like, you don't even know what the Klon is. You know, like, what are you doing?
I love it. Well, let's give me
keep going.
a little more. Let's hear it. Let's hear some solos.
Yeah.
back to that main riff real quick for me, and we'll go back and forth between the two pedals.
What riff was that?
Yeah, I think you were.
Try that.
Wow.
I kind of like that because it's got a little less. I mean, I know you can turn up the mids on that,
Right.
But it's a little less mids. And
It is.
It kind of grinds a little better for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, and I
Especially for
believe
rock
that
stuff.
sort of the EQ on the one is a little bit interactive. So like as you bring the mids up, you get a little bit more treble.
Okay.
As you bring the treble down, you know, it's kind of similar to. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, our founder, is right here off camera.
I made him come.
Yeah, he's hanging out with us. He didn't want to be on the camera for whatever reason.
Jim,
but
I actually play in a band with Jim.
I know
and
it.
I love playing with Jim.
Jim is the best.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's actually the one that introduced me to you guys.
Yeah,
So-
that's awesome. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim. EQ is a little bit as we turn bass, mids, and treble, things change, right? Kind of like a Dumble.
Yeah, it's interactive. Kind
Yeah.
of Dumble-ish, but
Yeah.
not exactly
Okay.
what he was doing.
Right.
Right,
Because
right.
you'll notice I'll bring the mids kind of way up, and we'll see what they sound like.
Yeah, totally. The Klon has its place.
It does.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's. I would take it out,
Yeah,
but it's like a. You don't want to take it out.
exactly.
You know?
Not at this
And I
point.
wanted something that was gonna have a little more diversity
Right. Right.
to it, and that's why I love the one. You can. I don't know, man. I just if I want like a edge of breakup sound,
Yeah.
you know, I'll take it down a little bit. You know,
Sure.
I'll still get. That's a pretty great sound.
It's a great sound.
And then if I want to use it, you know, if I want a little more grind, I'll just use the boost. Right?
Yeah.
Instead of using the boost as an actual, volume boost,
Right.
I'll use it as more of a gain boost.
Sure. Well, it's
Right.
actually on this pedal. It's pre, so it's actually gonna. It'd be like putting a boost on the into the pedal
Son
itself
of a
into the
bitch, I
circuit
didn't know
itself.
that.
It is. It's not
Yeah.
actually post. So Jim's over here. That's
Color
one
me
of
correct.
That's one of the things that feedback we've gotten is a lot of people would love the ability to use the boost independently. And that's something we're going to try to work on a
I don't
future
know,
release.
man. I mean,
but it's like
just stick a treble boost in front of it.
exactly,
and
exactly,
go.
exactly. I mean,
know.
there's always this infinite combinations you can make in pedals,
Yeah.
but we felt like we really reached something that we were proud of and that I loved, and I thought other players would love. And as it turns out, they do, because we've got a lot of people using this pedal, which is really, really cool.
Including me.
I know, and we're
You know,
happy for that.
The guy that has done everything, and is now still
love it.
playing in
Love it.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. And you kind of had it around there.
So you have both of them.
Got both
there
of them
now.
on. Just curious. Yeah.
That's a lot to drive.
It's a lot of drive.
Sounds good though.
It does sound good.
I would probably turn this down a little bit.
Cool.
And then, so that's not an actual boost that increases volume. It actually just increases gain, right?
Right,
Is that
right.
correct? Okay. So these two pedals would actually be great, with each other in tandem. Using that as like an actual volume boost.
Yeah, exactly.
So this
Expensive volume boost.
It's very expensive.
But a great volume boost.
That sounds pretty cool, though.
It does.
Klon, like with the
And I believe that's this is like the way John Mayer uses his, from what I've read online. He uses it as a boost with the tube spanner.
does he?
Yeah.
I like them both, but if I had to choose one to play at a gig, it'd be that.
Awesome, man. Well,
you go.
we've done our job, Jim. We've done our job. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we're going to do more videos, so stay tuned.